Welcome into the Immigrant Podcast. I'm your boy Nikolai Hill. Program is brought to you by Immigrant Apparel, Nothing But Net International. We appreciate everybody logging in and giving us your time today, episode 45. We're doing it sports style because that's what we've been doing half the time these days. That's what's most interesting for all our listeners that are tuning in on a regular basis. Today, we're going to talk about some sports that there's a new regime. Okay, so we don't talk about tennis or golf a lot. You know, you don't consider it a lot very immigrant sport. And of course, I always base my my podcast and my conversations on what's happening to people of color. But I always base my conversations and what I'm talking about to international topics as well, and people across the globe that are doing great things. And in this case, we got a lot of new people doing great things, especially on the golf scene and on the tennis scene. There's a new regime. Especially, we can talk about the top tennis players in the world before we go on to the golfers. And of course, Novak Djokovic is still at the top of his game. I think he's the all-time greatest tennis player of all time. The numbers say that. I think he's going for the next one will be his 26th major title, and that is unquestioned. We've heard the guys that I've grown up with, like the Sampras's and the Agassi's and the Edbergs, and we can name 1,000 more. Of course, the guys that he's just been in competition with, like Murray, and of course the great Nadal, and yeah, we know the other legends as well. But Novak Djokovic is an all-time great, and he's cemented his place amongst the greatest tennis players of all time. But there's a new regime. There's Alcaraz. There is Alexander Zverev. And the hottest guy in the scene right now is Skinner. And no, he doesn't look Italian, but he's an Italian that's playing some of the best tennis that you can absolutely play. And these are the guys that are in the finals and semifinals, and definitely the quarterfinals of championships in recent history. These are the guys that have won, I would say, 7 out of the last 8 major titles. Alcaraz winning the 2 last year and already won this season, and Skinner doing pretty much the same thing. So these are the guys that we're going to be hearing their names going forward. And what I'm talking about this podcast is that we just got to get familiar. We always go through this phase where we're talking about the old guys and we're not getting accustomed to the new names that are running the route. They're ruling the roost, and they're running things. So I don't want my listeners to get left behind. And it's the same thing that goes for golf. I started playing golf because I'm a Tiger Woods guy. Okay. We share a lot of similar attributes growing up in places where other people didn't get to be raised, and being the skin color, even though he's someone of mixed natures. But that's the reason I took up the game. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of people of color, the numbers haven't continued to grow like we expected them to in the African American community. And the numbers have gone up, and we are seeing probably double the amount of African American golfers that we saw before competing, whether it's on high school, tertiary level, or secondary level in college or secondary. So the numbers have gone up. We've seen more colleges, HBCU specifically, introduce golf as part of their curriculum, and so that's also a good thing. So we're seeing the numbers go up there, but the golfers that are moving from the lower levels, of course, making their way through the tours, and that are ascending to the PGA are white guys. White guys like Scottie Scheffler, white guys like Justin Thomas and Keegan Bradley, Brooks Koepka, and these are the guys that are winning competitions these days. I can put Xander Schauffele in there. And I'm doing Scottie Scheffler a disservice by putting him in the conversation with these other golfers. Dude just won the British Open yesterday, a couple of days ago. Whenever I'm doing this broadcast, and you guys will see it, and he won the major title before that, and I think he's won 4 out of the last 6 majors. He's on not an unprecedented run because we've seen this before with, of course, the Arnold Palmers and Jack Nicklauses, and of course the Tiger Woodses, but he's killing it. And we've got to get familiar with the new golfers. You know, I'm always wanting to be a part of the golfing community. Yeah, I got to force my way in there, but I watch it a lot. And I've got to stop praying that I'm going to see Tiger Woods go out there. Okay, I'm not going to see Tiger Woods. We're probably not going to see a lot of Phil Mickelsons making it to the weekend to play golf. You know, the names like the VJ Sings and the Freddie Couples, those names are a thing of the past. So Scottie Scheffler is the man. But he's still got the Rory McIlroys who've competed with Tiger, and he's still competing now that are still out there. And of course, all the Asian guys that are the Asian from like China and Japan or wherever, and then the American Asian Colin Morikawa, he's still competing, and he's an excellent golfer as well, major winner from a few years ago. So just wanted to get you familiar with those names: Janik Skinner, Alexander Zverev, the Scottie Schefflers, the Carlos Alcarazes and the Brooks Koepkas. And these are the guys, the Keegan Bradleys and the Justin Thomases. Whether I'm talking about the golf or the tennis, I just grouped it all into one in the episode 45 here. These are names that you got to be looking out for. For another episode of the Immigrant Podcast, I'm your boy Nikolai Hill. Take it easy.